Hey guys, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel. Still not feeling 100%, but maybe a little better than yesterday. I wanted to come on here today and talk to you a little bit about what we found out at yesterday's presser about the Stockton SK. And yesterday I had said, you know, this picture does nothing for me. Maybe if we had a video. Well, I guess somebody listened, because now we have a video and it honestly doesn't do much more for us, but we get to see this person walking. I mean, it sucks, right? That this is all we have to go off of. When I showed it to my husband, he's like, "Oh, so it's Slender Man." I mean, you know, and honestly, story time. It reminds me, most of my family, I've told you I'm Cherokee Indian, and most of my family live in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, which is the capital of the Cherokee Nation. And several years back, I don't remember how many, there had been a robbery at a store. And when they came out with the description, it was a 6-foot tall Indian with long black hair. That could literally be almost anybody in Tahlequah. And that's kind of how this is. They said in the presser they had interviewed the woman who was shot, who survived, and her description, I mean, it doesn't help a lot. It gives us a few details, but what she said is he's between 5'10" and 6 feet tall with a thin build. They're a male of unknown race. They were in a dark colored sweatshirt with the hood up and dark colored pants. They were also wearing a black face mask. They did not say anything to her during the shooting. So she apparently at the time was staying in a tent. She heard noise outside the tent. When she came out, she was confronted by this guy. He shot at her, it sounds like, a few times, hitting her once and wounding her. When she moved towards him, you know, to stop him or whatever, I guess he lowered the weapon and retreated. That's really all we know. I mean, at least now we know it's a male, and they're between 5'10" and 6 feet tall. Her description matches this photo perfectly, but we don't know race. He didn't speak, so we don't know anything about his voice. There's not much to go on, you guys. So let me take down the great picture and show you the great video. I mean, I guess there's something a little distinctive about his walk. I'd like to know where this is. It looks like some sort of apartment complex, maybe. Does he live there? Was he visiting somebody there? I don't know, you guys. That's what we got. So I kind of made a timeline here. So I don't know how much you guys know about serial killers, but I know quite a bit about the major ones. And when I was going to college, one of my projects, my big presentations, was over BTK. So I like to try to look for patterns, signatures, things like that. So this is the timeline that we're working off of. So they connected those 2 shootings in 2021 through ballistics to the 5 that have happened here recently in Stockton. So if we start out April 10th of 2021, it was a Hispanic male in Oakland. 6 days later, April 16th, 2021, was the black female, and that was in Stockton. And then it was a year and 3 months until the next one. So what was going on in that time frame? Well, a lot of things could have been going on in that time frame, right? Maybe this person was locked up. Maybe they were in jail for some reason. Maybe they have some sort of mental health issue and they were put on meds so that these urges were under control, and maybe now he's off his meds. Maybe they connected this ballistically, right? Maybe someone else used that weapon and now this person has that same weapon. Maybe they're not related other than by the weapon. I mean, it could be anything. But I was thinking back to BTK because, like I said, I have deep dived that man like you wouldn't believe. And with him, he would have periods where he was dormant and it lined up with things going on in his life, like the birth of his children or things like that. It could be that with this person. Sorry, guys. So it could be something that is either causing them to stop or something that's happening that's triggering them to start again. You know, maybe some sort of traumatic event in their life happened, a death, or they got fired, or, you know, any number of things. It could go either way. Something could be stopping it and something could be starting it. Also, in that year and 3 months, now that law enforcement is working with the other agencies to compare crimes that have happened that are similar in nature, that year and 3 months could get filled in with other victims possibly. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But that is a long gap. So then when this all started in Stockton, July 8th, 2022, we have the white male in Stockton. And then there was 34 days before the next one. August 11th, 2022, Hispanic male, Stockton. 19 days later, August 30th, 2022, we have a Hispanic male in Stockton. 22 days later, on September 21st, 2022, Hispanic male in Stockton. And then only 6 days later, on September 27th, 2022, we have a Hispanic male in Stockton, and it's now been 8 days since we've heard of any victims. So if you go to the first two in 2021, there was only 6 days. These last two, there were only 6 days. Is this person escalating? Are they getting more confident? Are they feeling more courageous to get out there and do what they're doing? Do they feel like they're learning how to do this without getting caught? I don't know. I mean, 34 days to 6 days, that's huge. And the Hispanic male, I mean, when you look at this, you can't help but have that jump out at you, right? And at the presser, someone had asked a question. I don't know about the black female's hair, but they did say that she was a light-skinned female. And someone had brought up, maybe could she have been mistaken for a Hispanic male? And the cops wouldn't say because they're dealing with facts. But when I saw the picture of the white male, the first one in Stockton, he doesn't look Hispanic to me at all. But I mean, these do happen at night, so I don't know. it feels too early, I guess, to say that is who he is targeting, is Hispanic males. But like I said, it's hard not to notice the pattern, right? And that's how serial killers work. They have a pattern. I also had wondered, how close did he get to his victims? Was he shooting them from far away, or was he getting up close and personal with them? And they haven't really said what distance they were shot from, but from what the black female said, it sounds like they were in pretty close proximity. He didn't speak to her though, so I don't know if he is saying anything to them before this happens or not, or if he's just walking up and taking aim. You also look for signatures. With BTK, obviously his biggest signature was the name he gave himself: bind, torture, unalive. But he also took things. He took souvenirs. He took driver's licenses and things like that. These people had not been robbed, but that's not to say there wasn't something missing. So I would be very interested to know if there is any kind of signature that ties these crimes beyond just the ballistics, if there was something similar in that way to the 2 from 2021 that tied them to the recent 5. He seems to be working, let's see, 9:39 was the earliest, 9:39 p.m., and 6:40 a.m. was the latest. So kind of early evening, nighttime hours, not evening, night, 9:39. Still kind of fairly early, but it is dark. To 6:40 a.m., it sounds like he's pretty confident and comfortable working in the cover of darkness. We know that he has been striking in places that are not well lit. These people have all been alone. There aren't many, if any, security cameras in the area. So it sounds like he knows the area. He knows where he can hide, how he can avoid being seen. I would say if you have to be out, don't be alone. Maybe that enough would be enough to deter him, because so far everyone's been alone. Try to be where it's well lit. I mean, I hate to say don't be out at night, but man. And one thing we know, serial killers love to see themselves covered in the news. So this person is probably enjoying finally getting some coverage. That could do one of two things. It could spook him that they're getting close, that they've made this connection to the first 2. It could spook him and cause him to go dormant again. Or, wanting more attention, it could cause him to go out and strike more. It could honestly go either way. It just depends on what his mindset is. I feel like the coverage could also cause him to maybe widen his area, be more on the move, maybe start striking outside of the Stockton area, hoping that there wouldn't be a connection. Knowing that they connected the first 2 through ballistics, he may get a different gun, or he may choose a different weapon altogether. I feel like if he's been using a gun up to this point, he's probably going to stick with using a gun, but he could always get a different gun that wouldn't tie his next victims to these crimes, at least not right away. That's why I'm hoping he has some sort of telltale signature that he is doing or leaving behind. So if he does switch weapons, it can still be tied back to him. Sorry, I don't have notes today. Like I said, I'm not feeling good, but I just kind of wanted to come on here and talk about what's been going through my mind. So if I have a lot of pauses and I seem scattered, that's why. I'm just trying to focus on serial killer behavior. He could be the most normal person. We've seen that. BTK had a higher up position in his church. He had a family. He had a job. He was in the military at one point. Ted Bundy. People liked Bundy. He was going to law school. He was able to convince these women to help him out, and that's how he would lure them, the broken arm and things like that. They it's not like you're going to see them necessarily and be like, oh, that's a bad person, that's a serial killer. Now, granted, the Night Stalker, he looks like he had the potential, right? He might have spooked people. But you have to remember, this could literally be your neighbor or a coworker, someone that you would never suspect, somebody that just on the outside, they look normal, they have a very normal suburban life. It doesn't have to be somebody that you look at and they automatically give you the creeps. Maybe they do. I mean, BTK was, I know at work, I think people kind of thought he was a jerk, but like I said, he was a Boy Scout troop leader. He, was very involved at his church and things like that. So you don't know. And that's what makes them scary, is the unknown. The person that you see that you think that person could definitely be an SK, not necessarily. It could be somebody that looks like you or me. It could be literally anybody. And with the footage and the picture that we have to go off of for this guy, it could literally be anybody. And getting somewhat of a description from the female, it's helpful, but it only gave us really the height. The clothing description, we could get that from the video. We know it's a man now, and that they have a thin build. We could tell the thin build from the video. We don't know his race. We still don't know his race. So, I mean, I guess it narrows it down a bit, but it doesn't narrow it down enough. So, you still need to be really careful out there. This could be somebody that you interact with on the street, and maybe you say something wrong, and I'm not saying like, you say something offensive, but somebody says, hey, can you tell me what time it is? And you're like, I don't have a watch, or something like that, and they snap and you're the next victim. I mean, it could be, we don't know what's setting this person off. We have no idea. If anybody lives in that area, I would love to hear from you. You can email me or contact me on my socials. It's all in the description box. I know nothing about the Stockton area. I'm looking into it, but I don't know that much. But I'm wondering, is there a large Hispanic community there? And the area where this happened, it was a pretty tight radius. Is this an area where there are quite a few Hispanic people? I'm just wondering that, because if so, then maybe this person is targeting Hispanic males if they're working in that area pretty exclusively. It's just something to think about. But I wouldn't bet my life on, oh, I'm not Hispanic, so I'm safe, because he has killed that one white male, and he did wound that one black female. So if you're in that area, if you're in California, anywhere, don't consider yourself safe from this person. Don't. Take your precautions and be aware of your surroundings, and safety in numbers. Just keep yourself safe by whatever means necessary. Because until we know more, we're not going to know if this person has a type that they're hunting. There's a lot of questions that still need to be answered. We don't know if there is something that's triggering the attacks, the timing between the attacks. Is he escalating? He could be. And I'm sure he's evolving. That's why I said he may change weapons. He, may change locations. If he's evolving and he's getting bolder, maybe Stockton is where he lives. Maybe that's why he feels comfortable there. Well, if he's starting to feel comfortable and confident, he may try to branch out into other areas. And hopefully that'll be what gets him caught. But he could just be staying in his comfort zone right now. So Stockton needs to keep their guard up. One amazing thing that we found out is the reward has gone up. It's $125,000 now. So it was already at 95 when I was on yesterday. And a local business owner who wanted to remain anonymous donated 5,000 to bring it up to an even 100. And then the ATF donated another 25,000. So it's now at $125,000. They've also given more ways that you can submit tips, which I will put in the description box below. You can email police tips at stocktonca.gov. They have an anonymous tips line, StocktonCrimeStoppers.org. That's online, obviously. And it says you can download the P3 Tips mobile app to submit tips anonymously. And like I said, I will link that along with the phone numbers that you can call in the description box. So if you see something or you think you saw something, you know anything, if you're suspicious of anyone, go ahead and call in a tip. The police said that they've been getting a lot of tips, hey, look at this guy, hey, look at that guy. And they also alluded to the fact that they have more video. It appears to be the same person, but they have not released that yet. So they're still saying that the person could be they're a person of interest. They could be the suspect or maybe a witness to the crime. But if they've been seen in multiple videos at multiple crime scenes, then I would say it's probably the suspect. It's not likely that it's going to be the same witness, dressed the same way, and things like that. So, like I said, keep your guard up. If you think you know anything, if you see anything suspicious, call it in. They need to get this guy off the streets because he very well could be escalating, and he likely is evolving, especially with the coverage. So everybody keep yourselves safe out there, and thank you so much for being here to get the few little updates that we did get yesterday. Like I said, it's not much, right? It's not much, but in cases like these, we can't really expect much. It's not going to be like they're going to walk out there and be like, hi, it's me. We have to go with what we've got. And right now, it's not much. I'm going to play the video for you one more time. Pay attention to the walk, the build. I've heard a lot of people talk about the walk. Some people said he could be walking that way because he's wearing baggy pants. I don't know. But I love all of you guys, and I want everybody to stay safe. Like I said, if you live in the area, if you would email me, that would be fantastic. I would love to hear from you. I have questions that maybe you could help me with. And yeah, that's really all I have about this guy. There's a couple other videos I'm going to try to do today if my voice will cooperate with me. My husband ordered me not to do anything today because of being sick still, but here I am because I love you guys. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Bye.